tindakan kurang ajar 4 remaja
Gara-gara tergamak bersikap biadab dan mengganggu seorang wanita berkemas, 4 remaja sehat pun dibacok lantak.
Semua remaja berusia 18 hingga 18 tahun itu dihukuman tinggal sehingga
Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone. So what you guys just watched earlier is the intro of our video. It is really saddening to see, right? Unfortunately, those kind of events have been happening regularly in our beloved country. Across the world, psychological abuse is the most dominant type of abuse reported. But in Malaysia, financial abuse and exploitation seems to be the most common cases. If you think that financial abuse is minor and harmless, think again. These kind of cases were reported almost every week and covered by many mainstream media. According to the US Department of Health and Human Services, financial abuse is when an abuser takes control of victim's finances to prevent the victim from leaving and to maintain power in their relationship. When an old person gets cheated, especially by someone they trust, the emotional and psychological trauma can make them die faster, even if they have healthy bodies. Although massively underreported, financial exploitation is rapidly becoming a rampant form of abuse among aging adults, particularly those with cognitive impairments such as Alzheimer's disease or other types of dementia. These crimes are now so widespread that elderly financial abuse is often called a crime of the 21st century. Dr. Raudah Yunus, one of the researchers, said that it is about more than losing their money. Being cheated by someone they trust affects the elderly psychologically, and this affects their mortality. Financial abuse also limits their access to healthcare. When you don't have money, how are you going to go to the hospital to buy some medicine? As reported by The Star, she leads a study that covered 1,927 seniors, mostly aged between 60 and 69. Of this, 8% of them, 154%, experience some form of abuse, with financial abuse being the most prevalent, which is 13%. The death rate in this group was 9.6% compared to 6.8% among the group comprising those who are not abused. From these preliminary findings, we see that the mortality rate is higher among elders who were abused. Among the causes of financial abuse is the fact that people live longer with Alzheimer. Alzheimer's age-related psychological changes in the interior insula of the brain that affect the brain's ability to detect fraud and scam. They are more susceptible and vulnerable to it, and it is more likely to happen when an older person dependent on other people for their daily activities of living, such as managing money, eating, and etc. Second, elders are exposed to and use technology, especially the internet. Most of them did not know the do's and don'ts when surfing the internet. In Malaysia, the modus operandi of the abuser or the scammers was that they disguised as a bank or government officials, claiming certain things that needed the victim to send their personal or financial information. Next, many elders are living alone or in social isolation. Social isolation increases the risk of elder financial abuse because there are fewer family members around to detect suspected abuse or deterioration of an older person's ability to protect himself or herself. As reported by the newspaper Sinar Harian, e-commerce fraud recorded the highest increase during the Movement Control Order period (MCO). The case involved e-commerce involving a loss of Rm 17 million from March to August. The Macau scam case saw a loss of Rm 50 million with 1,001 cases. I am going to share with all of you some of the infamous examples of financial exploitation cases that shocked Malaysia. Number 1. Penipuan Haji VIP, where hundreds of thousands of ringgits were lost when the retirees and pensioners were caught in a scam. The scam promised that they can make a pilgrimage to Makkah with a little amount compared to the one supervised by the government. Number 2. Online scammer, Macau scam, and also love scam. So, what can you do to prevent financial elder abuse? While it is important to understand the signs of elder abuse, it may be more productive to take steps to prevent abuse from occurring in the first place. Many of the preventative measures depends heavily on family members to actively take action. Before these warning signs appear, one of the best safeguards against financial elder abuse is to create a strong support system to keep an eye on elderly family members and also loved ones. For instance, a family conversation, or more likely a series of conversations over time, can help you gain insight into your loved one's affairs and mental state. Keep in touch with all the loved ones through regular phone calls, visits, or emails. Then, develop a relationship with your parents' caregiver, if you do have one, as they will be less likely to financially exploit your parents because they know you are paying attention. However, if you recognize warning signs or suspect someone you know is being exploited financially, addressing the issue immediately, whether that means getting the proper authorities involved or confronting the abuser directly, is often the best way to prevent additional abuse. If you are concerned that an elderly family member may have been the victim of fraud or other abuse, ask him or her directly. One of the reasons elder abuse is underreported is that well-meaning onlookers are afraid to act unless they are certain that abuse is occurring. As Malaysia has a rapidly aging population, abuse of elders was and still is an issue that the government needs to address urgently. If you do encounter elder abuse cases, do forward them to the welfare department or call the Kasih helpline at 15999. Remember this magic number, 15999. With the one at the helm of our country being elderly themselves, we can only hope that they will continue improving how the elderly are treated in Malaysia. #kita jaga kita.